Albanese and his PNG counterpart are finally putting pen to paper, firming up a landmark defence treaty, ensuring we defend each other in the case of an attack. Joining us to discuss today's headlines is Independent MP Dai Li and ALP President Wayne Swan. Good morning to you both. Dai, let's start with you. Look, this has taken a little bit longer than the PM anticipated. There was the expectation he'd firm up this deal during his trip there last month. What do you reckon's changed between now and then?
Look, I'm sure that, it's the PNG, people needed to really consider their sovereignty and had to take time in coming to a very important decision. And of course, defending PNG means, protection for Australia. And we've always had, I know that, a long history with PNG. So I think it's the right thing to, have come to, an agreement with. And I'm sure there's benefits that they can see for, for the PNG people and Australia. The question is that, how much of, where would the defence spending be? Would that be increasing in our force as well to protect Australia as well? So I'm sure there are many questions still that has to be asked around this deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, Wayne, obviously this was always going to happen. It was really just a matter of being a bit longer than expected. But just to those points that Dai raises there, when it comes to troops on the ground and so on, do we have any clearer detail on how our security defence between the two countries will actually work?
Well, I think there is a bit of detail there. This is very smart and constructive diplomacy. I mean, it's our front yard. The ties go back to World War II. Us Queenslanders know how important PNG is to the security of the country. And to see there's going to be some interaction between the two defence forces is quite encouraging. But what's more important is we have to understand that authoritarianism never sleeps. And that's why deals like this are so important. And it's why the government has been so active, not just in PNG, but right across the Pacific.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point too, Wayne, isn't it? I mean, Dai, when you look at our region, PNG is only one country when it comes to the potential risk that we have against China and China infiltrating in those other countries.
Look, absolutely. The Southeast Asian region, I think, is a region that we need to also focus on and build a relationship with because at the end of the day, we are, they are on our borders. I mean, we are girt by sea, but we definitely have, going to Wayne's point in terms of diplomacy, people-to-people engagement is very critical. And I know that, in Australia's interest, we have to continue to maintain that strong tie.
Yeah, Swanee, it's pretty fitting that Albo and the Prime Minister, James Marape, will sign this deal after they attend the NRL Grand Final together. China might have money, they might have arms, but they don't have rugby league.
Well, they're getting lots of help, but there are really strong linkages there. I mean, I'm a Queenslander and a lot of Queenslanders fought in PNG in the war. There's really strong linkages and a lot of affection in both countries.
Of course. All right, well, this does come, as we know, ahead of Anthony Albanese's trip to the US. We know Donald Trump's administration has a huge priority on defence ties, strengthening defence ties in the Pacific. That'll certainly be a tick when it comes to Trump.
Well, it should be. Obviously Australia and the US has a very strong defence tie. So I think that, we play a very important role, and I think we've got a lot of, from the alliance, all of that. So, yeah.
When it comes to the meeting, Wayne, between Anthony Albanese and Donald Trump, there have been many who have said, including the former advisor to US President Andrew Liveris, that the PM here should not yield. He joins a chorus of people saying we need to stand up to the US President. That includes, of course, Malcolm Turnbull, Tony Abbott as well. We know things can get testy in the Oval Office. We've seen it before. How big a role will China play in the discussions between the two leaders?
Well, I think the US President is very much focused on China. And one of the reasons we need to be much more focused on the Pacific is because the US has got a lot of other priorities as well. But the most important thing is that we stand on our own 2 feet. We don't take a backward step when it comes to our national interest and point out that, we have been allies for a long time. And the challenges that we face in the Pacific and the challenges the world faces globally are important, and therefore we need to have good relations and good discussions.
Trump can be so unpredictable. Does Albo, Swanee have an escape route just in case? How does he get out of a testy meeting?
I reckon he's got a pretty good record, actually. If you look at the outcomes, we've been doing pretty well compared to many others. And I think Australia is respected in Washington for all of the reasons that we've just been discussing. I mean, Australia was saved by the US in World War II. In the South Pacific. That is well understood, and we've been a very dependable ally. But most importantly is we look after our national interests first.
Yes, well, we might just need to remind Trump that because it's taken a while to have this sit down with Albo. But anyway, let's move on now. In the NRL Grand Final, finally here this Sunday. Di, I know this is your strong suit. Who are you backing?
Very. Backing the Empire. The umpire.
The Empire of the Storm, the Melbourne Storm. Yes, that's what I heard you say. Swanee, we're going to beat your Bronx.
Well, I would note there's no teams from New South Wales in this game.
I love it. Love it. I love that fact. All right, it's going to be on this Sunday. Cannot wait, guys. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Charles.
Bye-bye.
We've had the last four. It's time to share it around.